Ever wish you could just, like, tap into the minds of some of those brilliant Islamic scholars, Someone to break down those complex ideas in a way that just clicks. Well, today we're diving into something that might just be the next best thing. Zamzam Academy.
It's certainly an ambitious project, and what's immediately striking is the driving force behind it all.
You mean Dr. Mufti Abdurrahman Ibn Yusuf Mangera? Yeah, talk about an impressive background.
Memorizing the Quran by the age of 15, that's something else.
Right. It really makes you think about the level of like sheer dedication he brings to making Islamic knowledge accessible.
This isn't just some academic pursuit for him, it's deeply personal.
Absolutely. And you can feel that in everything he does. I mean, you look at his credentials, and it's not just the traditional Islamic studies, which, by the way, are extensive.
He's lived it, leading congregations, teaching, and on both sides of the Atlantic, no less. That's quite a breadth of experience.
It's like having that direct connection to centuries-old wisdom, but with someone who gets what it's like to navigate, our modern crazy world.
And that's really the heart of Zamzam Academy, wouldn't you say? That bridge between the tradition and, well, today.
100%. And they do it in a way that's surprisingly approachable because, let's be honest, when you hear Islamic scholarship, you don't usually picture like a casual, fun learning experience.
No, you usually picture dusty old books and long lectures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Zamzam Academy, it's so much more than that. They've even got a section on, wait for it, social etiquette. Color me intrigued.
It just goes to show how Islamic teachings apply to every aspect of life, you see. It's not just about rituals and doctrines. It's about, like, living your life.
Right, like navigating the everyday with that guidance, which I think is really cool, actually. But okay, let's be real for a second. Some of the terms they use, well, they can sound a bit intimidating, right? I'm thinking about the word fatwa, for example.
Yeah, that's one that tends to get thrown around a lot in the media, doesn't it? Often misunderstood.
Totally. Most people hear fatwa and they think of it like some kind of, harsh decree.
Right, but it's more nuanced than that.
Mm.
Think of it like this. You have a specific question about Islamic law, right? Something relevant to your own life. A fatwa is like getting a really well-researched, personalized answer to that question. Guidance from experts who can interpret those teachings for your particular situation.
So not as scary as it sounds then.
Not at all.
Well.
And I think it's really telling that Zamzam Academy has a whole section dedicated to fatwa responses. Shows their commitment to addressing those practical concerns.
Which makes total sense considering Dr. Mangera's background, right? He is a mufti, someone authorized to give those opinions. But here's the thing that really struck me. It's not just about getting answers from scholars at Zamzam. It's about empowering you to find your own answers.
Now that is crucial, and it's something that really makes them stand out. They could have easily just focused on the traditional lectures, the classic approach.
Totally. But they've gone above and beyond.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like they've said, here's this incredible treasure trove of Islamic scholarship. Come on in, take a look around, find what speaks to you.
Okay, I love that analogy. And it's not just about the sheer amount of stuff they have, although, wow, there's a lot. It's the range. They've got courses on everything from like Islamic finance to, get this, stories of the prophets.
And those stories are surprisingly engaging, aren't they?
Right. But it's more than just what they're offering. It's how they've set it all up.
It's true. They've got the traditional lectures, of course.
Right. You got to have those.
Of course. But then they've got these really well-made videos, self-paced courses. I mean, you name it. They're using all the tools, all the digital tools to make this knowledge work for people today.
And speaking of those self-paced courses, that's where I feel like they're doing something really different, really important, actually. They've got these courses designed specifically for women on topics that, well, might be a bit sensitive to talk about in a mixed group.
It's so crucial, isn't it, to create that safe space. We're talking about things like, reproductive health, for example, navigating marriage and divorce, even Islamic inheritance law, which can get, complicated. These aren't always easy topics to discuss openly, but Zamzam Academy makes it possible.
It's like they've taken this ancient tradition of learning and made it work for the lives of like modern Muslim women. It's empowering,
Absolutely. And they don't stop there. They have courses on like Islamic parenting, dealing with grief and loss, stuff that everyone deals with.
It's really incredible how much they've managed to cover. But you know what really gets me?
What's that?
The translations. Dr. Mangera's work translating these key Islamic texts like into English. I mean, we talk about accessibility, but this is next level. These foundational texts, some of them studied in their original languages for centuries, they're available in English now.
It's like he's opening up this whole world of knowledge to people who might not have had access otherwise. And it's not just about, making the words available. It's about making the meaning clear. It's an art translation, and Dr. Mangera is good at it.
He's not just bridging cultures, he's bridging centuries of scholarship, which actually makes me think Zamzam Academy is part of something even bigger, right? The White Thread Institute.
Ah, yes. The White Thread Institute. It's like the umbrella you see. Zamzam Academy is the website, the thing you see, but the institute is what holds it all up.
Okay, so Zamzam Academy is just one part of what they're doing. What else is going on at the White Thread Institute? What else are they up to?
Oh, all sorts of things. They're publishing books, writing articles. They organize conferences and workshops. They've even got this program where they're training, future Islamic scholars. They're coming at this from every angle.
Wow. It's like they're building this whole community, this whole learning ecosystem, which is pretty amazing. But it kind of makes you wonder, is this the future of Islamic scholarship, this online approach? Like, are we seeing a major shift happening? That really is the big question, isn't it? Is this the future?
It's a question that gets people talking, that's for sure. And for good reason, I think.
Because, yeah, on the one hand, you've got to admit the accessibility that a platform like Zamzam Academy offers. It's pretty amazing.
It really is. Imagine, you can just dive into this vast library of knowledge whenever you want, no matter where you are.
Right. 24/7 access right from your living room. That's huge.
And especially for folks who maybe don't have a mosque nearby or their schedules are crazy, they could never make it to a regular class.
Right. This makes it possible for them.
It's like it's breaking down all those barriers that used to exist. Anyone with an internet connection can tap into this.
It's like democratizing access to Islamic knowledge when you think about it.
Exactly. But I do think it's important to think about the other side of this, too.
You mean like what we might be losing?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's something special about that traditional way of learning,
Right. The face-to-face, the community.
That personal connection you build with a teacher, the back and forth, the debates you have with other students.
Yeah, that energy. It's hard to replicate online.
It really is.
So what does that mean? Like, is it one or the other? Do we have to choose?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really see it more as a both and kind of situation.
Both and.
Yeah, because why not have both? Why not have the best of both worlds?
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
It's not about saying one way is better than the other. It's about recognizing that people learn in different ways.
Right. Different strokes, different folks.
Exactly. Some people, they need that classroom setting. Others, online learning, it just works better for their life.
So maybe the future is some kind of hybrid model. A blend.
Right. Like you have the flexibility of online learning, but then you also have opportunities to come together in person for workshops maybe or retreats.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because ultimately it's not about the method, It's about fostering that love of learning.
That desire to seek knowledge.
Yeah. And if technology can help us do that in new ways, well, that's pretty great.
It really is. And I think that's what Dr. Mangera is doing that's so exciting. He's not just preserving these traditions. He's pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And if you're listening to this and you're intrigued, I really encourage you, go check out Zamzam Academy. Explore the website. They have a lot of free content. Maybe even submit a question to their Q&A.
Yeah, you might be surprised what you discover. Take a deep dive, see what you find.
But as you do, here's a little something to think about. We've talked about Zamzam Academy making Islamic knowledge more accessible, right? But what about the scholarship itself? How might this change things, do you think? How might this global connectivity shape Islamic thought moving forward?
Wow. Yeah, that's something to ponder.
It really is.
And on that note, we will leave you to continue your own deep dive into Islamic scholarship. Thanks for listening.